Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Data Partnership. Today I will talk about guidelines and regulations for sustainable groundwater use. This is second presentation on these guidelines, and this will be more technical. The previous one was mainly the theoretical, right? This is like what are those guidelines and CGWA, Central Groundwater Authority, is the basically the regulatory authority, right? And why these guidelines are required, and what are the main point, and why no objection certificate is required, right? And and summary and area categorization: safe, semi-critical, critical, and over exploited. So I just briefed on those points, and what are the conditions of to granting NOC, right? And what are the requirements, monitoring, and finally the summary means where NOC is allowed and what are the major conditions. So the link of this video I will put in the description box, right? And finally, I showed you this table where we have categorized category of water users and key NOC conditions and typical examples, right? So now today it is more technical uh, as compared to earlier one. So this is based on the guidelines provided by CGWA. So basically, these are there are various guidelines have been discussed or notified by CG Central Groundwater Board. So this is from the 1999 to finally the 2020, and there was amendment also in 2023. So you can download this one from their website. So this is compendium guidelines notification of CGWA. So I'm talking about now 2020. So there will be more detailed presentation in future. So let's start it. So basically, groundwater regulation in India, key highlights from CGWA. Oh, it's not right. So little bit I will go from 1990 to 2012 also. So this is like means when it's begin in 1999. Those guideline issues in 2099, 2009 and 2012. So initially this applied to the 16 106 1615 over exploited critical and semi critical blocks as identified CGWE. So now we know why this is required, because falling water tables in overexploit due to overexploitation, reduced well yields and higher pumping cost, summer water scarcity and salinity intrusion in coastal areas, right? So then these are the users I already discussed in my previous presentation, and these are the categorization. So now I will come to the this one, right? This is the actual uh, uh, guidelines issued in 2020. So key policy changes and applicabilities. Guidelines have pan-India applicability unless state UT rules are more stringent, in which case those apply. So basically, CGW has uh, created those guidelines and issued to the state, since water is state subject in India. So basically, state can create their own guidelines, but those should be more stringent than the CGWA, right? So all new existing industries, infrastructure, mining projects required a require a CGWA or state NOC for groundwater abstraction, and the entire NOC process is now online. This is an important thing. So exemptions from NOC: individuals mean domestic use, rural and urban areas are exempted. Rural drinking water schemes, armed forces and CICs, Central Armed Forces, and uh, agriculture activities, micro and small enterprise extracting less than 10 cubic meter per day. Right. So these are the mainly. So basically, this presentation is more about the numbers. Right. So this is the main guideline. So what are the charges? So tiered groundwater obstruction and restoration charges based on the category and groundwater status, whether it is safe, semi, and critical or overexploited area. So penalties and environmental compensation for illegal extraction are specified. So 50% rebate possible for existing project with functioning artificial recharge structures. So sector specific, I already discussed this, so I'm not going to. But few important points are like agriculture, we know exempted from NOC. Emphasis on participatory and demand side management. Industry NOC not granted for new industries in overexploited areas, except MSME only for domestic use. Strict water audit every year. Water audit is required. Rainwater harvesting and mandatory reduction of groundwater use over 3 years. Mining NOC is mandatory. Detailed impact assessment required. Specific water quality and usage reporting. Infrastructure dewatering required NOC. Use of treated municipal water preferred. Special restrictions for overexploited area. And additional thing is bulk and tanker supply. NOC mandatory, GPS based tanker tracking and specific charges apply. This is important. GPS based tanker tracking. Otherwise, nowadays, like in Bangalore or other cities, tanker mafias are, they are doing this. So that's why government put this condition that they have to there should be GPS based tanker tracking. And technical and compliance requirement, mandatory installation, annual calibration of digital water flow meter with telemetry, mandatory rooftop rainwater harvesting, construction of piezometer of project extracting, it should be greater than 10 cubic per day, regular submission of water level and quality data to CGWA, strict protocol for monitoring compliance penalty and possible cancellation or non-renewable of NOC in case of violations. And these are the conservation and auditing. Annual water audit required for large industry. Use of water efficient technologies, recycling, reuse is mandated. Protection of ecological sensitive areas, right? Penalties and return. So basically, detailed penalty provision for non-compliance up to 2,000 rupees for 40 meters up to. So I will few points I will discuss in next video. So, and this is document and protocols, extensive documentation required, affidavit, local government certification, hydrological impact assessment report, rainwater harvesting proposals, quality data, compliance. So, a lot of things are required. So, now we are coming to the key numbers and quantitative limits like NOC exemption threshold. Limit is less than 10 meter cube per day. Micro and small enterprises, they are exempted. Domestic consumption, if it is less equal than 25 meter cube per month, so no charges for residents and domestic use. NOC validity 5 years, semi safe, semi critical and critical area. NOC validity for 2 to 3 years for over exploited area. Mandatory piezometers for greater than 10 meter cube per day required for all users. No number of DWR telemetry per site. If it is 51 to 500 meter cube per day, so at least one DWLR with telemetry is required. So digital flow meter with telemetry, all NOC cases installation compulsory. So I will create a separate video on this. So now rate of groundwater abstraction and restoration charge. So this is for first one is drinking and domestic use for residential apartment groups, house societies, and government water supply agency in urban areas. Like this is one category, another is government. So if it is residential and housing societies, then quantum of groundwater withdrawal is meter cube per month. Means if it is 0 to 25, no charge. If it is 26 to 50 meter cube per month, then 1 rupees per meter cube. If it is more than 50 meter cube per month, then they have to put 2 rupees per meter cube, right? For government water supply agencies, any quantity, government for infrastructure projects also. So then 0.50 rupees per meter cube applied to all government agency projects using groundwater, right? Similarly, for packaged drinking water units, so for groundwater abstraction, if it is safe, semi-critical, and critical, then this is up to 50 meter cube per day. One for safe, two for semi-critical, four for 4 rupees for critical. Similarly, if they are extracting 51 to 200 meter cube, then those charges will be this one. If it's 200 to 1000, this one, right? For critical, it's increasing. You can see that, right? For 5000, it's a 60 rupees per, per meter cube per means rupees per meter cube, right? Similarly, for groundwater restoration charges, what is there for this is only for over exploited. So you can see up to 50 meter cube per day. If anybody extracting, then they have to unit is 8 rupees per meter cube. So these are the uh, charges for that. Similarly, for you know groundwater abstraction charges for other industries and infrastructure projects. So for safe, semi-critical, and critical, this is if it is less than 200 meter cube per day, then charges are 1 rupees, 2 rupees, and 4 rupees per meter cube. Similarly, if it is 5000 meter cube per day, then 10 rupees per meter cube for infrastructure project in critical areas. If it is over exploiting, then over exploited area, then you can see they have to give this one 6 rupees for less than 200 meter cube per day, and 20 rupees for 5000 meter cube per day. 20 rupees means 20 rupees per meter cube, right? So similarly for mining project, if it is safe, semi critical, critical, so this is uh, these are the rates, right? If it is now, I am talking about bulk water supply. So I will take a detailed presentation on it. I will create a video for this. Then it is if it is safe, semi-critical, critical, or over-exploited, then type of charges, abstraction, and for over-exploited, it's a restoration. Then rates are 10 rupees per meter cube, 20. For critical, it's 25. For over-exploited, 35. You can see restoration charges applicable for over-exploited zones. And private tanker drawing groundwater must obtain NOC. So basically, the private bulk and the tanker wala, they have to take the NOC. For additional note, tanker must install GPS based system for monitoring movement and area of operation. This is important. So you can see here all private tanker abstracting groundwater and use it for supply as bulk water supply will now mandatory seek no objection certificate for groundwater abstraction. So, so these are the things. So now what is coming soon is abstraction of saline water wetland area, general compliant condition or no objection certificate, monitoring compliance, renewal of no NOC, extension of NOC, delegation of power against illegal groundwater withdrawal, groundwater level monitoring, environmental compensation, and other key information like the description of this flow meter, right? What specification, what should be the specification for these flow meters and all. So since it's a broad guideline from CGWA, so that's why I'm coming with the step by step. So I hope you will like it, and this video will be helpful for you because it's an important one. And this is the guidelines by CGWA, and definitely for sustainable uh, groundwater use, this should be applied in all the industries, and I'm sure a lot of technological advancement will be there uh, for the groundwater use. and because it's important, groundwater is only the fresh water we have right now, because rivers are polluted and demand is high, and so supply is not, so we have to match the supply, demand. We have to make a uh, uh, what we call, we have to make a basically we have to fulfill the demand. So that's why this is important. I felt that this is an important thing, so everybody should know about it, at least who are working in the uh, working in the policies and water management and all, right? So thank you. I will come with more information about this in coming days, so please share it and subscribe it. Thank you.